Yeah, if you can record on your end. Cool. And one sec. That's the end of the jingle, and you're live.
And welcome this morning to Kindasound Radio on the Reality Bite Show. And I have my lovely friend Stacey Wilkinson back with me this morning.
Hello.
Stacey, thank
Oh,
you for
Wendy, it's been a
joining me.
while. Two years, I think it's been.
Yeah, we were just saying that. I can't believe it's been 2 years, actually. We've got a lot to discuss, I think, this morning, to be honest. I'm fascinated to know. So, for those of you who don't know who Stacey is, Stacey used to work in events years ago. She's always been an enlightened being. And when the Gong Show kicked off, she'd had enough, basically. And she has gone on a mission. I mean, what this woman hasn't done for people, I'm going to say, over the last 2 years is probably not worth mentioning. With your groups and how you've been teaching people to just one connect back into themselves as a powerful living being, and then number two pull themselves out of the straw man system. I mean, from what I've been watching you do and I hear your talks, it's been absolutely fascinating. I mean, you're up to, what is it, 1.6 million in direct debit.
1.8 now, 1.8 million, just gone over.
Yeah, so
Basically.
Stacey has groups that I'll share with you guys with links at the end of this as well. But Stacey's been helping people understand, well, we don't use understand, but comprehend the system that we're in, that we've been indoctrinated into and conditioned into believing that it is real in some way, shape, or form. This is going to sound really weird what me and Stacey are talking about this morning. It doesn't.
The right people will get it.
The
That's it.
right people will
Yeah,
get it,
they'll
and
get it.
those that don't, you'll wake up at some point and then go, "Oh, that's what they were talking about."
I don't
So
think the most will. I don't think most will, but it's
some
fine.
won't. We'll
That's
just float off.
fine. We're not speaking to everybody.
No, we'll just float off into the ether at some point. But Stacey's done some really wonderful work, and I've not actually got to do the. I had one go at the when we first met. I had one go at the indemnity reclaims, and they so basically said no, and then I was like, right, I shelved that because I then started on the electricity journey. So I thought I like to take one thing at a time. So I'm a pretty much attack that, put my energy into that. When that's done, then I'll go here. But could you just give us a little bit of your background, Stacey, so people, not from my perspective, but from your perspective, get a sense of who you are and what you're
Um,
passionate about in life.
well, apparently I'm Richard Branson's best mate, and I work for the Illuminati.
Oh, well done.
Oh, it's just the crap that I read online. It's just fascinating, and it's taught me don't ever believe everything you see online. In fact, don't believe anything unless you were there to see, touch, taste, or feel it. Believe nothing online, nothing at all. But my background before all this, you said I was enlightened before all this. I wasn't. I was part of the show. I was part
Oh
of the
no, I meant
problem.
said you're in events and then you've become enlightened,
Um,
I think.
I knew there was stuff not right that were happening in all these jobs that I used to have, and I kept getting fired because I kept speaking out. But I just couldn't put my finger on anything in particular. I thought it
Yeah.
was me, thought it was them. I blamed the world a lot for my problems, and it was only when 2020 happened, and that's kind of when I started to go on my journey and realised that fucking hell, shit, you need to beat that out. And
No,
my
you're
whole
right.
life's been a lie, really. My whole life's been pretty much a lie, and I've been part of the problem. And we've all been lied to since the day we were born. It's like a complete illusion. But it's been a fascinating journey the last few years. So now, how we've ended up where I am, I'm now teaching people to just basically stop paying the bills, stop paying the council tax, stop paying the speeding fines, the energy bills, things like that. Things that you thought you meant to pay to live on the planet, those things. And also get the refunds back on everything you've ever paid in the past.
Yeah, I find it absolutely fascinating because it is, we're the only species on the plane of existence that pays to live here.
Well, I always say in my talks, because I try and make it simple for people to understand. Do you see birds flying around the trees collecting seeds, going, right, you owe me 5 seeds for this nest. This is my nest, this is my tree. It's just nuts. It's just nuts. It doesn't happen in nature. We've built this ourselves, we've manifested it all. No, and it's not working anymore. It's not working at all.
No, well, we can see the massive cracks appearing. I don't know about you as well, but over I would say the last 4 weeks, I'm really, really starting to see what I would call people that I would never have expected to moan or complain about anything start waking up, especially with the 15-minute or 15-mile can't drive away from your zone type things that are
Oh,
coming.
I don't pay any attention to what they're saying. When I say there, I mean the matrix, the governments, the councils. I have no clue what's going on out there, and I don't care. If you don't focus on it, it doesn't affect you.
Exactly. This is what
I
this
don't
is.
even know what that is, but it certainly wouldn't affect me.
Oh, it's hysterical. Every now and then I get, because I'm sort of, I sit up here, same as you. I like to wander about creating my own lovely reality from the heart space and
Yeah.
get on with Wendy World, I call it. Wendy World. I think that's going to be a podcast. Every now and then, though, because I do have certain friends who like to keep an eye on news and stuff. So every now and then I bring a foot back down into this lunatic asylum, as I call it. And I go, oh, what's happening in the asylum today then? And it's like, oh, hello, here we go. Right, anybody else coming to join me up here now that you've realised that? And that's what I mean. There's people now going, right, no, what do we do about it? And it's like, well, number one, you know who you are and you stop paying it attention, because when you take your attention off it, it stops.
Mm.
And like you say, I think that's the main thing, isn't it? Everything is energy, vibration and frequency. So
well, what's that saying? Energy energy flows where attention goes.
Yeah.
Energy flows, yeah. So it really does. And most people that I come into contact with, or they come into my talks, they think that feeding the beast and sending it letters and poking it and trying to get it to be accountable is going to get rid of it. It isn't. It's like, I don't know if you've ever been in a narcissistic relationship, but you can't get rid of the bugger by trying to reason with it. You can't do that. You've got to kind of block it, move on, try and hope it loses interest. And that's the same thing with the system. It's a narcissistic machine, and you don't get rid of it by sending it letters and trying to hold it accountable and trying to get it to reason with you. It's not going to work. If you think of all these companies that are sending you letters and bills and taxes and fines, they're not real, are they? They're not living. Does that make sense? They're not living.
They're a corporation, and that's what
corporation. It's a non-living entity. So the only way it can communicate with you is sending you letters, and then you manifest. It needs a human to manifest whatever's on the non-living entity, the piece of paper.
Yeah.
So if you imagine like walking into, I don't know, Eon or EDF and ask to speak to Eon or EDF.
Doesn't exist.
Walk into the council building, ask to speak to the council. It's non-living. So it's all these minions, men and women, just hiding behind the scenes, typing out, or it's probably automated, not even typing out, putting pieces of paper in envelopes, and that's it. And the person has to open it and on the receiving end and act upon it to make it come to life. And if you don't give it any energy, you don't even receive the letters, or you don't even have a letterbox, doesn't happen, none of this.
But on that tip, number one, Moby, In My Heart. Why do you like this one?
Well, I was at the Hard Rock Hotel in London recently, and I did a gig in London, and this song kept playing in the background, and I was like, oh my God, I forgot how Moby, 20 years ago, I was listening to Moby, and I'm 42 now, and I forgot how good he was, and this song just stuck in my head, and I just love, it's an uplifting, feel-good tune.
Yeah, he's good. Go is one of my favourite ones from
Moby.
Moby.
That's a good one. That was one of his, wasn't that one of his first ones? One of his very early ones?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah. Yeah, Go.
Showing your age now, Wendy. Showing your age.
I am, yeah. I'm over the other side of 50 now, Stacey. So it's all upwards from now. That's the way I look at it. Right, so Django, if you wouldn't mind, Moby, In My Heart, please.
Global community.
And you're live.
And welcome back to Kindasound this morning, speaking to my lovely friend Stacey Wilkinson about some of the interesting things she's been up to for the last, it has been nearly 3 years now.
Has it been nearly 3 years? Bloody hell. Well, the scamdemic happened, 3 years ago next month, didn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's been, Stacey's been 3 years, yeah.
3 years and people are still wearing masks.
Need to stop this stuff. We
really wearing them outside, I saw yesterday. Oh my God.
Well, it is a bit cold. It's a bit like a snood, isn't it, I suppose.
What do those people say when they're going outside? I'm going to go outside for some fresh air. What do those people say? I don't know.
I don't know. I can't even put a tagline sentence around that, to be honest.
Do you know what? The more the better. Do you know what I mean? The quicker they go, the better. Where to, just to be sure.
Yeah, especially, this is a jolly Sunday morning chat for everybody listening to. So, Stacey, I wanted to wander into, because the indemnity, this is something that's fascinated me. And a lot of people know nothing about this, but with these direct debit indemnity reclaims, because you're up to now, I thought it was 1.6 million last time I looked, but 1.8 million over the last couple of years helping people reclaim. So could you explain a little bit of that to the listeners?
Yeah.
So what the process is?
Well, it's if I just say it's about the cash, then
Yeah,
the wrong people will get attached to it.
yeah,
I'm trying to deter people as well. It's not even about the cash. The refunds are just a nice to have, the indemnity, but just to make it quite simple, every single bill you've ever had, if you look on the back of the bill, the piece of paper, it'll have ways to pay, and
yeah,
it'll also have the direct debit indemnity in a box on the back. So on it's got ways to pay direct debit. It's also got the direct debit guarantee in a little box. So there's the remedy for you, and everything that the system ever throws at you, or you think it throws at you in your mind,
yeah,
is always remedy at the same time. Just like the mask exemption. So yes, everybody must wear a mask. Oh look, everybody's also exempt if you read the small print. And it's the same for the bills. If you just look on the back of a bill, it says it there. Any direct debit paid in error, that's it. You're entitled to immediate refunds. And once you know who you are, of but once you know all this is a sham, it's an
yeah.
illusion, then you know it's an error. You shouldn't have been paying in the first place. These bills are quite new. There's only we weren't paying these bills over 100 years ago. So why the hell are we paying them now? The system's infrastructure is already set up and paid for.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
But people,
even
there's also this misconception. People seem to think, oh, but if we don't pay, someone else will suffer, or roads will, potholes in roads and things like that won't get paid for. But I always say, when was the last time you went to an ATM and you pulled out a crinkly old folded note, screwed up note? So I've got one like this. Go to an ATM and try pulling a note out like this.
right.
Doesn't
It
happen
don't work.
anymore, does it?
No.
It's all freshly printed. So if the central banks can do that, can print out cash by the hour, which is what they are, they don't need your money, my money, anybody's money to pay for anything. It's already been paid for. It's all an illusion.
I've not, you know what, that's something I love these conversations, because every time I have a conversation with someone like yourself, I have another little light bulb switch on, something drops into place. And I know about the fiat currency, with it's just printed, money's just printed. There's no gold back to anything anymore. Your money's worthless because they can print what they want. And I never thought about it like that, Stacey, prior
Mm.
to that actually they just print, if they need money, they just print money.
Yeah, if they want to fill potholes in the roads, they'll
They
print
can
more.
fill.
If they want to clean the water at the sewage tanks with something, they'll just print more money. They don't need yours or ours. But it's a belief system, and it's a good system in terms of getting people to do what they want you to do, and keeping people down in the financial enslavement system. It's good for that because people spend their lives, trying to get this. It's all about your energy. It's all it is. It even says it on the back of a £5 note. It even says, "I've got nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat." It's all about your energy. That's why we were talking about before off air. It's
Yeah,
important not to give it them. They don't deserve your energy. The more time you give the energy to the system, the less on yourself. And all they're after is your sense of purpose and your energy and your time. That's all they're after.
yeah, it's like energy harvest. That's where the energy harvesting comes from,
Harvesting,
isn't it?
yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
'Cause you're kind of useless and worthless the more time you spend on them. You're not doing your own things. You're not achieving your own goals and dreams.
that is really, really true. It's really an interesting double wake up for Wendy, because Wendy's been caught in a little bit of going through some.
No, I can tell. But I was there like summer 2020 up
Yeah,
to February 2021. I was still kind of, you must pay. I'm going to send you letters. You will answer. I want response. I was still in that frame of mind.
yeah,
Yeah. And then it was only when I wasn't getting any responses, and some people have had really good responses to the letters that I wrote, but I didn't get any. So it's
yeah,
different every time, but it's just not worth it overall. The probability of getting a response back and it's the one that you want, it's not worth it. They don't deserve it. I want these bastards to go, right?
yeah.
And we're not going to do that by sending them letters and keeping them in jobs and validating them.
No, that is a good point, because I do always say on the flip side, whatever you're giving your energy to and your focus to, because that's what I work with in personal development. So when I'm talking to my clients, it's like, if you're giving your energy to these people, you're taking your energy away from yourself. You cut that off, and then you get more. It's like it's gaining your life force back, isn't it? and you
Yeah.
only have so much of those beautiful life force particles on a daily basis to spend on stuff.
Yeah. And most of us aren't giving it to the right things or to ourselves. You
Yeah,
know, how many people do you see online who are constantly focusing on celebrities, but then whinging that the skin, or they haven't got this, they haven't got that, but all they're doing is, focusing on celebrities' lives, Kardashians, whatever it is. That's most of society now.
yeah. And that causes, I mean, that leads us into another conversation about what that's causing for our youth at the moment as well. The amount of young girls, well, not just young girls and boys that I meet now, because I do a lot of work in schools, that are they're mentally screwed, and they're just for the simple fact of all the social media they see and all these Von Trapp reels of everybody's life, of all this perfection and these big blown up lips, big fat asses, Botoxed faces, false boobs, and and these poor
Oh, it's
kids.
awful. They all look the bloody same, all of them lot.
They do, but and
Yeah.
that's what I mean. You're losing the human, not the human, because that's the monster aspect, but you're losing the living woman, living man aspect of the beauty of us as unique beings. Every single one of us is unique and beautiful in our own way, and they're creating this typecast of you need to look like this to fit into society, and it's the mental health problems it's causing for
But do
kids.
you think we're doing that? I don't think it's them. We're doing it. We're doing it to ourselves. So that's why I always say it's important to get your kids out of schools, get them offline, like get them back into nature or homeschooling so they don't grow up with these things. They won't want to troll looking at celebrities because they've been homeschooled. Doesn't even come into their psyche. They're not hanging around with kids like that either. It's other kids, a lot of it. But schools were created for this purpose.
Yeah, massively. And that, yeah, are we doing it to ourselves? Yes, we are, because we allow
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
parents, a lot of it. I'm not
yeah,
blaming parents. I'm just saying
no,
a lot of it, kids copy parents. So if you're emotionally unavailable, narcissistic, attention seeking, then your kids are probably going to be the same. And you're putting them in schools that are going to be even worse. His parents needs to go back to educating parents.
yeah, massively. And it's that thing of, well, it's like you say, most parents I see now, this is more important than sitting down.
Oh God, I'm always in bars and restaurants, and the amount of parents I see who just shove an iPad in front of kids while they're at a table trying to eat, they're just completely ignoring the kids. Kids are sat there on iPads. So why have you brought them out?
Yeah, and it doesn't teach, well, it doesn't teach the children anything, does it? Not having that
No,
conversation.
there's parents that come to my talks and they say, "Can I bring a kid? Don't worry, I'll give them an iPad." And I always say, "No, not give it. You bring them, they listen. They
Yeah,
need to learn this stuff. Like, what's the point of giving them a bloody iPad?"
yeah. Well, it's just feeding the machine again, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's like, what the hell? What's wrong with you?
Simple as that. Machine feeding. I love the fact we're going to cover quite a few different subjects this morning. I do enjoy this. Right,
Good.
Jerry Cinnamon. I've not ever heard of him.
Right, I've just come back from doing the North Coast 500 in Scotland in my camper,
Right,
and I stopped off in Inverness. So I just completed the North Coast 500. If you don't know, it's like a circular loop right at the top of the UK, right at the
right,
top of Scotland, and I just did it on my own in winter. It's bloody freezing. And when I got to Inverness, when I completed it, there was some live music on, and there was a gang of, like, I don't know if they're Marines or something, like big loads of army guys, and they were all singing this tune. And it's a Scottish singer. I love him, and I love the fact I looked into him. He's brought out all his album and all his songs on his own label because no one would sign him or something. He's done it
right.
all of his own back, and I love that story. But all of his music, he's a great lyricist, and the fact that he's not gone through a record label, his own, he's done it all off his own back, and it's brilliant.
Oh, a bit of Jerry Cinnamon then, and
Yeah,
Belter, please, Django. Thank you.
yeah.
You
I
are
always like
off
to stay quiet
air.
until I've heard something from Django. Sometimes he has a power outage and disappears off at the
Oh yeah,
moment.
there's always power outages down there, isn't there? Bloody hell.
Yeah, I've no idea why, but
Um,
I don't know a lot about South Africa. Apart from it's got great white sharks that I want to go and swim in the
oh
sea.
yeah,
That's about it.
yeah, I did that down there.
What, you've done the Great Whites?
Yeah, down in was it somewhere near Port Elizabeth? It wasn't Port Elizabeth though.
Okay.
You there? Do you know where they do the Great Whites? What's it called?
I'm
Port.
actually not sure. Called what? Sorry?
It's somewhere near Port Elizabeth. Somewhere down there.
Okay. I was there yesterday.
Let me have a look. It's going to
Um,
remind me now. Great Whites, South Africa.
Did you do it in the cage or in the Perspex tubes?
in the cage, but the cage was really wide, so they just kept coming right up to us. I didn't like how they antagonised the sharks, though, to be honest. It didn't really sit well with me.
They antagonise them.
Yeah, they like throw tuna and get them to follow the boats round just to kind of get them around the cage.
Oh, okay.
Um, Gans by Django, are you there? Gans by.
Sorry. Oh, is that the name of the place?
Yeah, is that the? Yeah, that's where I did
Can't
it.
buy. Oh, wow. That's okay. Yeah, that's further down. That's sort of between, I suppose, between Cape Town and PE.
Yeah,
I would reckon that's a good halfway or less. Yeah. Oh, wow. I've never done that myself.
yeah. I mean, it's good fun. I just became aware of what they were doing to the sharks during the day.
That's not
Kind of
nice.
like, yeah. But where else would you do it though? It's like, there's a demand. Is demand for it.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen.
it's the sad thing.
Go on, Jangars.
I was just gonna say, it's similar to some of the way they track animals in the parks, like they're paparazzi, and racing across a park to go and see somewhere other animal. It's like not natural,
No.
No, I've seen some
45
people
seconds.
free swimming with great whites, and I like that. And they weren't baiting, so they went
Okay.
out on like ribs, and they
Right.
wait until they sort of find where they are, and then they literally
Right.
just get out the boat and free swim with them.
Right. Not sure I'd do that.
Wow.
But yeah.
It was amazing, and they were going up to them and actually touching them and stuff as well, and it just showed you that we're not a prey source for them.
Right.
So yeah, and it was a bit like, you know what I mean?
Mm,
These people could see when the sharks were
15
reacting.
seconds.
They've been
Right.
around sharks, but so they know like this one's doing this. We don't, now we're going to
Right.
back off.
I did that in Belize, but not with great whites. With tiger or bull sharks or both. I can't do it. But not swim. I
Are
can't
you
swim.
live?
Just flat.
And welcome back to Kindasound this morning. So we were just talking sharks, actually, totally random
Yeah.
subject in the break there.
Cage diving.
Yeah,
Yes.
Django's over in South Africa, that our producer, and Stacey was saying that she'd been over there and done some diving in
In
the
Gans by. Yeah, did this great
Yeah.
white cage diving. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done everything on my bucket list. I'm trying to make a new one now. Done everything.
Oh, have you? Can
Yeah.
I ask? So because you've said that now, what's been on your bucket list then?
What I've already done.
Yeah.
So the Machu Picchu, that was one of them.
Right.
Easter Island, seeing
Yeah.
all the Moai statues. Cage diving was on there. What else? Skydiving, the world's highest skydive. Did that one.
Where was that?
That was in Franz Joseph over in the South Island, New Zealand. So did
Right.
that. I'm sure there's higher ones, but 19,000 feet over there is one of the highest ones you can do without needing to do so many jumps beforehand. I've not
Oh,
done
okay.
any. So yeah, and the setting was beautiful over a glacier in the winter.
wow.
It's gorgeous. What else have I done? Oh, Great Barrier Reef. I've done and I can't swim, so I had to pay some little guy to take me out, like dragging me around, dragging me on a ring, going round Great Barrier Reef. I can kick my legs and move my arms, but I don't go anywhere. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
like
So you could sort of stay afloat if you needed to.
face down, but then probably die, won't I? So I could do doggy paddle when I've got armbands on, but when I take them off, I just sink. I don't know what's going on with me. So
All right. Sorry, that's just made me chuckle. It's just, yeah, because you've been cage diving with sharks and stuff, and
I've got no fear of the water as long as I've got armbands or some sort of float on. Like I used to be a holiday rep in Ibiza, and they used to chuck me in off the boat just for part of the show, for a joke. The rep who can't swim will chuck her in. So they did all that, and I used to love it because it was like great. And I used to get the guests all really, really going. But no, I can't without take away the armbands and stuff. Just float to the bottom.
All right, interesting.
If anyone wants to take me out, they can just throw me in a river.
Oh dear God! I love that, Stacey. So, have you never thought about learning to swim, or have you tried to learn to swim? And
I've thought about lots of things.
I should be more specific, shouldn't I? With what I
Thought about it. Yeah.
You
but,
thought about it, but you never have.
I've had bloody ex-boyfriends and people going, I'll teach you, and I just lose interest. I'm like, I'm not taking my feet off the floor.
Right. Well,
I don't know.
if you
No,
can
I've got no feeling for it.
float and do doggy paddle on the spot, who cares? Someone will rescue you at some point. That's the way I look at it.
I don't really go out deep sea diving on my own or anything. I don't really get into situations where I need to use it. I don't I don't feel I'm missing out. I don't feel I'm
I don't
missing out.
feel like you're missing out.
Most
You
of the
need
time on land or on boats.
Yeah. Well, someone did say to me the other day, we weren't born in the sea. So,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
keep fit. And actually, he said to me as well, because I was talking about flying somewhere, and he said, because we're going to meet up in Spain at some point. And I said, yeah, I'll fly down there. And he's like, oh, no, I'll drive. And I was like, why are you going to drive? He said, because I wasn't born with wings. And I prefer to be on the ground. I was like, fair enough. Each to their
Right.
own. You drive, I'll see you there. I'm going to fly down.
Well, it was he born with a car attached to him?
No, I was going to say that. But
No,
yeah,
I'm not going to be on a boat without a life jacket, am I?
no, no.
So
It's interesting.
right.
So, what have you got on your bucket list for the future then? What else do you want to do?
I think like apart from Greenland, maybe. I think I've pretty much done it. Oh, I had Alaska on my bucket list. I've done that as well. Alaska. I wanted to go to the most northern point of Alaska, so I did that. Um, yeah, I can't think of any more things that I want to do now. I'm just trying to create some more, but I'm running out. I think I've done everything. If I want to do it, I'll do it now. That's it.
Yeah, I'm getting my explorer boots back on. I'm starting to feel a need now. I'm getting itchy feet now, and I just want to go and have a look at some things. And
Right.
mine's the same. I do have a list of different experiences. Some of them are quite similar to yours as well. I like, I just like to go and look at things. So I want to go experience. I like to sit on like a hill and watch a sunset. I'm obsessed with sunsets in different
Same.
places. I
Me
love
too.
sun gazing as it 20 minutes before it goes down, just stare directly into the flaming ball of whatever that thing is. Because when have you
Well,
ever
it's
seen?
throbbing. It's
Yeah,
throbbing. If you
yeah,
look into it, like it's well, to me, it looks like it's throbbing. Maybe I'm deluded and seeing things. I don't know, but it looks like it's pulsating when I look at it. When it's
yeah.
on a clear,
It
um,
does, yeah. A friend of mine got me into it. She's got a lovely bit of land up at Northamptonshire. I
okay,
think she's got about 8 acres up there, and it sits right on the top of this hill. And so you
right,
can see absolutely miles all the way around it. And obviously, you can see the sunrise and the sunset on both parts of our land. And she said to me, have you ever sun gazed? And I was like, no, what is that? She said, come like over here, because the sunsets, they've got this like a big circle cut in the hedge. So you can see through it to see the sunset down right on the horizon. It's bloody gorgeous.
oh wow,
And she said, just stare at the sun. I was
right,
like, you're not meant to stare at the sun though, Libby. And she said, no, that's a big myth, Wendy. She said, 20 minutes before it goes down, you can stare directly at it. It won't burn your eyeballs out like that. You've just been told
right,
that. So she said it'll reset your melatonin. She explained what it does when it goes down. It actually increases certain chemicals in the body. And when it comes up in the morning, it increases your serotonin. So it helps regulate your sleep and awake patterns as well. Anyway, I'm staring at it. And
right,
when I was blinking to start with, thinking this isn't in the head, thinking this isn't right. And then all of a sudden, I just saw it, and you could stare directly into it. There was no heat in the eyes, nothing. It was just like,
yeah,
wow. And it became mesmerizing because, like you say, you get it becomes a perfect circle, and then you can just see it pulsating and the colors changing around it. And we stood there for
yeah,
20 minutes, and I was literally in awe of this thing because I had never had an
yeah.
experience like it.
Really,
Yeah,
yeah,
honestly, just watching it go down, but being able to stare directly into it. And I don't know, it did change something in me. It was like, I'm curious to know what that thing is now. Because it's definitely not
right,
90 million miles away, spinning round, what I've no idea what it is, but it didn't look like anything we've ever been told it is all I can say. And I would
mm,
highly recommend to anybody 20 minutes before it goes down and on the first 20 minutes on the way up, go and look at it and make your own judgment on it because it changes something in you when you get to see something like that for that period of time. I don't know
probably
how.
why they're spraying. It's probably why they're spraying the
Mm.
skies with fake clouds and things to cover it up so people
Yeah,
don't get the melatonin.
yes,
Yeah,
you can't. Well, that would make sense. When I've got a guy called Andrew Huberman that I do like to watch on YouTube. He's a neuroscientist, and he's one of my favourite neuroscientists. And he was saying the best things you can do. I always remember him saying this years ago. The best things you can do for your body every single morning, regardless. He said as soon as he wakes up, he gets up when the light comes up and goes not to bed literally in the winter when the light goes down because you'd be in bed at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But he makes sure all his evening lighting, he has no like lighting up, so everything's of an orange hue. So your body's starting to produce the chemicals it needs for sleep. But he said first thing in the morning, get outside, and this is like neuroscience proven. Get outside as soon as the sun comes up and just stare into it, even if you've got your eyes shut and you're
Right.
looking into it, because he said it starts producing all the chemicals you need for the day to actually regulate your body, regulate your hormones, make you feel good. He said it will just balance you out. And the same thing in the evening. So I always remember him saying it, like without fail, every morning he's out there, regardless of the weather. Whether it's raining, it doesn't matter. Just stare in the direction of the sun and get the light into your body. So
Right.
yeah, it just but the actual staring at that thing when it's, like I say, when I did it this morning in the woods when it was coming up, and it was a white light this morning,
Okay. I
and
do it. I do it when I can. Like I do a lot of that when I'm in. I was in Cornwall last summer, and I was doing a lot of that every day. But then coming Christmas when it's darker and there's not enough sunlight and you can't watch the sunset as much and it's all clouded over, you don't. I noticed my sleep patterns go a bit funny over the winter.
yeah, they will do. And like I say, with all the stuff they stick in the atmosphere as well, I'm sure part of that is to stop you doing it, because the sunsets get so low as well, don't they? So you've
Yeah.
got to sort of, for me at home, like here now, I can see the sun come up and go down, but when it's
Right.
midwinter, I'd literally
Yeah.
have to get in a car and drive down the road to the field to
Yeah.
sort of see it because it's so low. But
That's
yeah,
what I did. That's what I did yesterday, last night. So I was
yeah.
like, I need to get my body clock back in order. So I went off into nature. Probably something to do with watching Lady Chatterley's Lover as well.
Oh, was it?
But I went off into some mansions near me and into some forests on my own for a few hours. It's great.
Oh,
But
it's
it just
lovely.
sorted me right out because then I came back, went straight to sleep. So, being on your phone, watching TV, it was the proper light that you need, not the blue light.
Yeah, I mean, and it does as well. Going out in nature, I've got into the habit. I didn't realise since Caesar passed away. I mean, he passed away in 2021, January 21. And then I've lost like 14, 15 hours dog walking a week to start
Right,
with. I was up the woods every day. I couldn't not because he'd be screaming at me to go out the house.
right.
But it's also I've sort of, I've not been feeling depressed or anything for the last couple of years, but I was missing something, Stacey. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, another dog.
Well, not obviously the dog, but it's also the connection to nature.
No, get another dog. Get another one.
Yeah, I haven't got the time at the moment because of work. This isn't an excuse. It's because I have to drive about and
Okay.
haven't got anybody at home to help out with a puppy or even a rescue. I could never get another dog and just say to my mum and dad, because they're sort of in their late 70s now. Oh, I'm going away for 4 days. Can you have the? It's just not fair. So
Right.
until I'm in that position, which I'm working on, within the next 12 months, I should be in the position where it changes again. Then I can get another dog because I would never have one to leave it in the house all day. It's just not. So, but what I've done is I just say to myself, I'm going for a dog walk in the morning because I pretend I still have him. I go up the woods, but it's the nature. This morning, hearing the birds, the frost on my face, my nose was so cold it had gone red. But it was just walking in there, just the trees, the feeling. That's what I've been missing. That connection, that sort of, it sets all your energy. It gives you all the. Is it the?
Yeah, I did that yesterday. Take your shoes and socks off, and if you feel the earth, you can feel it. Like you can feel like it's like an electric current at times. When I'm
Yeah.
really tuned in, I can feel it. And yesterday, I felt it. Took my shoes and socks off and just walking in these woods. But it's great.
Yeah, it just connects you back in. It's so healthy for the body. I do it first thing in the morning here when I go and feed my birds outside. I've never got shoes or socks on in the morning anyway. I tend to spend most of
Okay.
my life without them. So
Yeah.
I go and, regardless of whether it's frosty or what, I don't care. But I go and wander out in the garden and feed the partridge first because he's always waiting for breakfast first, and then put everything else down for everybody else who's coming in. And I stand out there for 2 or 3 minutes with freezing feet, just connecting into the earth, and it's a nice start to the morning. It
But
really,
you stand
really is.
outside feeding things that come in. You say,
Yeah,
"Where
feeding.
are you? I'm gonna come." Tiptree, was it?
Yeah, Tiptree, come and
You're a
meet
bit
the
far
pup.
for me, so I'll turn up, wait to be fed.
Yeah, come. Yeah, I'll feed you as well if you want to come in. Yeah, just I've got a driveway. Pull your van up. It's fine.
I
Always
need
hot.
to do it. I need to do another talk in Essex. Actually, I need to. Every time I've been down, it's been absolutely rammed. Well, the one
Yeah,
that you were there, yeah,
it's
it's
finding a, you want a pub venue for anyone listening to this actually in the Tiptree area. I'll go out and ask a few more people. I haven't found one as yet. A pub venue that has a large conference room.
Function room. But anywhere in Essex will do. Anywhere. I was
Yeah,
looking at Malden. I was speaking to someone in Malden the other day. Malden, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, Malden. Yeah,
Down
that's
there.
down the
Yeah.
road. Yeah, we'll put the
Um,
feelers out for you and get you back down to Essex.
Yeah.
That'd be lovely to see you again. So a bit of
Yeah, I
David
love the
Bowie.
Essex crowd. They're really up for it. Really
Oh,
good fun.
yeah, we've got some maniacs down here that are just they're all ready now.
Yeah.
They're all ready. Yeah, the whole of Essex is igniting at the moment, which is
Just the
lovely.
energy down there. They're all really energetic. I like it. They're up for it.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, yeah. I think that's why I like Essex, because it's one of those places where I don't know. Most people do have quite a good energetic bounce. The language is quite quick, and the
Yeah.
language is quite fiery, and the people tend to be on mass like that
Yeah.
as well, which is
Yeah.
no,
The rest of the country, I think, is quite lethargic in comparison.
sweet. Yes,
They
that's
are.
really good. Yeah. So David Bowie, Moon Age Daydream.
It's Bowie. It's Bowie. It's
Bowie.
Bowie.
David
Bowie.
Bowie. All right, I'll get it right for you.
If
David
you watch
Bowie.
any interviews that he did, he'll talk about himself as David Bowie. I
Oh,
don't know where
David
this Bowie
Bowie.
thing came from.
That's my Essex accent as well. I say so many things and people correct me and I go, no, in my head it's this. And that's how it is. But Moon Age Daydream, why do you like this one?
Yeah. I've been going, I don't know what's happened to me. I've become a bit of a fangirl for David Bowie. But I've been to see a lot of tributes of his recently. Just because I wanted to see something, I wanted to go to a gig, and there
Yeah.
happened to be one on in the area. But I've become a bit of a groupie, like they all seem to know me now, these tributes. And this song, I love the guitar solo in it. I love the lyrics of the guitar solo. So every time a David Bowie tribute comes on, I'm like, you're going to do Moon Age Daydream? I want to see, because that's the testament of the skills doing be able to do this guitar solo in it.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I've listened
Yeah.
to this. And I nearly called him Dango.
Dango.
I do apologise this morning. This is one of those conversations. A bit of Moon Age Daydream for us, please.
Cool, you're off air.
I'll have to see if we've got any David Bowie tribute bands down here then to get you when you come down. Let's see if
Well, it's Adventure Island as well. I want to come down for that because that's opening.
Southend.
I think that's opening next month. I think it is. Was looking. He's got one of my favourite rides there. So.
I've not been to Adventure Island.
It goes 360 degrees upside down. You're hanging upside down. It's great.
Oh, lovely. That sounds like fun. I love anything like that. Fairground rides. I love roller coaster. I'm one of those, anything that has that slight possibility of death attached to it.
Yes.
It's what I love. It's the only thing that makes me feel like I'm alive.
You're alive.
I might die. Yeah.
That's why I like it, because it holds you upside down. It's amazing views as well. Yeah,
it is down there. I've not been to Adventure Island since I was about 15 years old, I think.
What?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So
would you come on it with us?
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Hell yeah. 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 All right. We'll make this a date. I'm going to get on the phone. So I've got a couple of mates who are down that way who know about venues, and they're very good at finding venues. So if I can find some, because Southend's Essex anyway, we'll see if we can tie a venue into there and then go to Adventure Island. And terrify the life out of ourselves. That sounds wonderful.
I was just constantly going on it, because you only pay a £5 or something in the winter to get in, and then it's unlimited rides. So I was just constantly going off it, going back on, going round and round last time I was there.
Oh, that sounds perfect. We did that on my sister's the same. She has the same mentality. We went up to Alton Towers, and because I'm disabled, I get the little wristbands, which means you go to the exit for everything. So you don't have to queue up for like 4 hours to get on a ride.
Right.
I think we did Oblivion 3 times back to back, and the other 2 that were with us, they went on it once, and we were like, come back on, and they're like, no, you're okay. We'll go and take photos of you 2 while you're on it. So me and Helen were like back on the ride again. Oh, we're going to die. Woo, we've lived. Do you know what I mean? Can we go back again? Yeah. Oh, we're going to die. Woo, we're alive. I love that feeling. And then the other 2 were like, come on, off now, kiddies. We've got more rides to go on. But it was, it's good fun. We went to Busch Gardens, and they've got a big pole thing with seats around it like this. We're all facing outwards, and I get vertigo. Right, so I'm not scared of heights, but I get vertigo, which is really weird. I think it's because obviously I walk with sticks, don't I? So I think my body is always going, oh, a bit easy, you might fall off that, be careful. So we got on this ride, and it takes you right up in the air, I think like 200 foot. then it tilts you forwards and holds you. And
Right.
my seat thing wasn't done up like really tight, and I felt like I was going to die. So I'm literally on it going, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, oh my God, I'm going to die, I'm going to fall out. And then it drops you face first at 70 miles an hour towards the floor.
Oh,
And
God.
stop, and then it tilts you up again.
What's
And I
that, right?
said to
What's
the
it called?
I don't know what it's called. I'll have to find out what it's called, but it was
Right.
hysterical. And
Right.
there weren't a lot of people queuing up for it. And I said to the guy, can I stay on it and go on again? And he's like, yeah, of course you can. Why is that though? I said, because I get vertigo and I want to see if I can get rid of the vertigo because this is terrifying, this ride. And he was like, yes, strange, but yes. So we go up again and the same thing happened. Like, gets to the top, it tilts you. I was shaking again, going, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, thinking, come on, get a grip, woman. Do you know what I mean? You'll never get over your vertigo like this. It drops you. And then I went, can I stay on it again? I think I did it like 5 times. And on the 5th time, he said to me, has your vertigo gone yet? I said, no, I think I'll get off it.
Is it gone now? You still got it?
No, I've still got it now. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
But it makes things even more exciting.
Yeah. If you're on the axis ride, it's like a big giant pendulum and it goes right round. Whereas most of those pendulum rides, they only go so far and go back round. This one in Southend goes all the way and it holds you upside down before it drops the other side.
Oh,
so that's why I like it. It's one of the best ones I've been on.
Yeah, I've seen something
30
similar
seconds
to
to go.
Thanks, Django. I've seen something similar to that at Drayton Manor.
All right, okay.
It's like a
Been
big.
there?
I've never been. Maybe we should meet up at Drayton Manor as well.
Oh yeah.
But it's a big pendulum that swings while the thing is doing this that you sat in underneath. So
Right.
it's swinging like that, and then it goes all the way over.
Station for a
But
global
it's spinning around at
community.
the same. Looks amazing.
Right. I'm up for that. I'm gonna Google it. Yeah.
And you're live.
And welcome back to the final part of Reality Bites on Kindasound this morning. I nearly forgot what we're doing then, Stacey. I thought it was just on a normal podcast then. So on the radio. So I want to finish off, I suppose, this morning with talking about, I know you don't really have a lot of plans. You like to get in your van because you're camper vanning around everywhere, aren't you, at the moment? But you haven't quite got a camper van, have you? Is it like a transit you've got that's converted?
Yeah. It's quite discreet, so quite stealth, so I can park anywhere, absolutely anywhere. In the middle of Torquay on a busy street, just throw a high vis jacket, work maintenance, nobody bats an eyelid. It just looks like a working van.
That's quite handy. That's quite a handy little tip, isn't it, actually, for parking
Yeah.
anywhere?
Yeah.
But how long have you been in that now?
I picked it up in April last year, so coming on to almost a year. But I've been away for the summer, back for a month, then away in Scotland for a couple of months, back for Christmas, and then I'm going down south again probably next month. End of next month.
What have been your favourite parts of having the van and just being able to travel about freely?
Just opening the door and just seeing, a big ocean, or watching a sunset from my van, having a little glass of wine or whatever. Just for complete freedom, which I've already got anyway, but just parking up and having a mobile hotel, it's even better.
Can I just ask you, what actually made you do that in the first place? Was it something you'd always wanted to do, or was it literally, I've had enough of this, stuff this?
No, I just needed a new type of bucket list. I needed to put some new stuff on there, and I didn't want to go travelling, not with all the masks and I don't want to show a fake document to get in anywhere. I refuse to do that. So I thought, well, I'll just make the most of the UK because we've got some beautiful places here. I've just not explored them. I did 3 months backpacking around the UK in 2014, and I only touched on the surface then. And I thought, right, I'm going to make the most of the UK, get a camper van, do it properly. And then I've gone from, Land's End to John O'Groats in it now, on my own. Before that, I never really did any camping. A couple of festivals here and there, but never really done anything like that before. It's been great. And driving such a big thing on my own as well, with my driving skills, down little winding narrow streets in Cornwall. It's been quite an eye opener.
Yeah, it gets easier though, doesn't it? The more you do it.
Well, I smashed my left wing mirror off twice in Cornwall, but I put it on again, so we'll see. Third time lucky. But all right.
That doesn't surprise me in Cornwall actually, because some of those roads that just made me. I took a wrong turn when I was down there last year, and I took a wrong turn, and this road I wasn't meant to be going down. It was so small. My wing mirrors were literally on, like the little cobbled walls that they have already. And it was like, this is probably not the best idea. And then I met a tractor. And it was like, right, well, the tractor's not going to be reversing up. So now I'm going to have to go backwards and hope there's no cars behind me for the last half mile that I've just been past with no pulling
Yeah,
point.
you've got to reverse a few hundred feet, haven't you? Some
Yeah.
places.
I love Cornwall. We ran a couple of retreats down there last year. And yeah, I just
Okay.
I love the place down there. The feel of it. It's just when you arrive down in Cornwall, I feel like everything in my body just goes like, oh, and relax down there.
It's like being abroad down there. I've still got a tan from down in Cornwall. It's beautiful. I've got a guy who's got a boat and he just takes me out fishing. It's great. It's just then I go back to my van at night and it's going back fishing the next. It's just absolutely fantastic. It's how we're meant to be bloody living.
Yeah, it's just the other one as well, Scotland. Because I know you said you've done that lap of Scotland. Is it the north east? So the
North
north,
Coast 500. Yeah,
yeah, the northwest of Scotland,
yeah,
where all those beautiful islands are. Someone was sending me pictures during the summer, and I was like, "Are you on holiday in Barbados or something like that?" They were like,
yeah,
"No, northern Scotland." It's
yeah,
like, leave it out. Seriously, it was like it looked like Caribbean beaches.
yeah. The crystal white sands up there, beautiful. I didn't even know about that part of the world. Like Durness, like up near Cape Wrath up there, the beaches. Oh my god, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's going
And
to be
I
one of
didn't see
my.
a soul. I went in October and November. I didn't see hardly anybody. I mean, it was a bit kind of lonely at times. 'Cause I had nobody to drink with. I went to pubs and there was no one in there. Not until I got to Inverness or Ullapool, I really saw anyone else. I was just driving for long stretches, hundreds of miles on the road, and no one was behind me, and nobody passed me. It's crazy. I just
Wow.
felt complete. I had the world to myself,
Oh,
which you won't get anywhere else. You won't get that anywhere.
that's like my idea of heaven. That's somewhere I'm going to be heading off when it warms up a little bit. Apart from when the midges are out, Dad said you have to avoid the midges.
Yeah,
So
I didn't see any when I went. I think you've got up until April, and then October, no midges then. But I didn't want to see people. I didn't want to see any midges. And I
yeah,
went at
no
the
people, no
right
midges. That's it. So that sounds lovely. Sounds heaven. So Stacey, what's the plan then for this year? What are you doing now? What's been your main focus for yourself
time.
and people with what you're doing?
Just look, I mean, I was working this out just before Christmas. It's more now, but I think the number of people that have come to my talks in person or come on the Zooms over 6,000 people now.
Wow.
Since I set the channel up. So I just want to keep. I love the public speaking. I absolutely love it. Who would have thought? I fucking hated it a couple of years ago, and now I'm speaking to like groups of 150 people. It's crazy. But I want to do more of the events, and I just want to keep doing that until I get bored, until
Yeah.
it's not working anymore, till people don't ask for me to come. But at the moment, I'm just going where people are asking me because they're saying, "Look, we've got a venue. Can you come?" And that's all I'm doing. I'm not plotting a big tour here. Got no agent. People say to me, "I've got someone working for me." Got no agent. It's going right. We're going there. We're going there. I'm just going where people have got a venue, or there's a group of people. That's all I'm doing. And
And
while there's demand, I'll just keep doing it.
exactly. And I think the demand is going to be growing as well. For people to get hold of you, what are the best ways? I know Telegram, you have a group on Telegram.
Yeah, Stacey's World Rocks. Stacey with an E.
Yeah.
On Telegram. Instagram's the same. Facebook, Stacey Wilkinson, but how long I'm on there, I don't know. I'm on a semi-ban at the moment. I don't know, hidden shadow ban still. I thought they got bored of that. But all the learning materials in Telegram, it's all self-learning. And the main thing people need to overcome is the fear. The
Yeah.
fear of repercussions, the fear of the system, fear of themselves. That's the biggest thing. Fear of themselves. They're just scared of making decisions. People just don't think, I'm just going to try it and see what happens. I don't know what it is. It's crazy.
That's just through that whole process of conditioning and
What
indoctrination.
Well, I was as well. We all were, but you
Yeah.
just got to try things. People want guaranteed safety, and it doesn't exist. They want to know what's going to happen if I do this, and it's impossible. It's like 100 different variable outcomes.
Yeah.
It could be anything. Just try it.
Yeah, exactly.
But they
Because
don't
if you
want the
don't try it,
responsibility. If anything goes wrong, people don't want the responsibility.
no, that's the thing. Well, it is like the first place is get connected back to yourself and know who you are. Get out of fear, and when you're out of fear, you can have a bit of fun with it, and then just crack on.
Yeah, and understand that
What
no
I want.
one's above you. No one's above you. No one should be able to tell you what to do, where to go, what to pay.
No, where you can drive or travel, where you can travel.
Travel. Yeah.
Driving is a
Yeah.
commercial activity which we don't
Yeah.
engage in. But
Yeah.
we're out of time. Stacey, we're out of
Okay.
time. God only
Right.
knows what we talked about this morning. I look forward to watching this back on the video when it comes out. So I just
We
want
actually talked about what we'd do. I don't know if we talk. I don't think we talked much about what I'm doing if we talked, but it doesn't matter.
we could do another one of those. I'll make sure everybody knows anyway when I publish this out on a video. But if you would like to know how to basically, stand
Stop
back
paying
in,
all your bills. Stop
stop
paying all
paying your
your bills.
bills.
Speeding fines, parking tickets, everything. It's all the same thing. Don't matter what it is. If it comes through your letterbox on a piece of paper from a non-living entity, it's all the same thing.
Yeah, so get on Stacey's group, Stacey's World Rocks on Telegram. I will put the link on this. Stacey, thank you again for joining me this morning. It's been an
Thanks for
absolute
having me.
pleasure. It
Thanks
really
for having
has.
me again.
Oh,
Won't leave it so long next time, yeah?
no,
We'll be
two
coming
two
to
years.
Essex soon. Coming to Essex.
Yeah, you will. I'm going to get this organised. When I get off of here, I'm going to make a few calls and get some stuff organised for you, woman. So,
Cool.
Django, thank you for producing. Thank you to all the listeners and the viewers as well for joining us on Kindasound. And we're going to play out with Death in Vegas and Scorpio Rising. Thank you, Django.
And you're all fair.
Yeah, I don't think we actually covered what I'm doing in Telegram.
It's all right. We can sort of basically cover that now because this is still recording, so it'll go on to the video. So those who watch this on YouTube will be able to get a little bit of extras. So what are you doing on Telegram, Stacey?
We're teaching people how to deal with the system. And it's not what you think. It's not by giving it energy.
Yeah.
And we're teaching people to grow up into adults because we've got this nanny state mentality where people want other people to do stuff for them because they're scared of getting something wrong. And we're just teaching people, men and women, to stand on their own 2 feet and go, it's okay if you fuck up, make a mistake. It's fine. There's, go that way instead. Try this, try that.
Yeah.
But the people that you want to fight anyway, they've had 6 or 7 jabs, so there's no point fighting them.
No, well, you know what? I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking the other day as well. Something. So yeah, what I'm doing at the moment, I've got to finish this though. So I've got this thing now. I've got to finish this guy off before he finishes himself off. I've just got to now because it's just like it's become like sport to me. It's really interesting. And I promise you that when I've done him, I'm just going to go right. Oh, everything else.
This is your sadistic side coming out.
I think it must be. I think it must be. I'm going to allow it a bit of like leeway to play. What was I going to say? But yeah, with this, it's what I'm finding is I'll put a video up or something, and people go, yeah, but can you tell me how to do that? Oh, but I'm only one person, and all this, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, it's just your attitude. Do you know what I mean? If we want, you've got to sort your attitude out. So you've got to have the attitude of actually one person who makes a decision to stand up, or one man or woman makes a decision to stand up and go, wow, I'm a powerful creative being, gives other people permission to do the same. And then when everybody does, as individuals, we have this massive collective of these powerful men and women that now stand in themselves and go, no, bollocks to you over there, we're going this way. And then it just all stops and changes. So that excuse of it's only me, I'm only one, that's the cop-out excuse.
Oh, I don't listen to people like that. People like that, I've found over the last couple of years, there's 2 types of people: those who make time and those who make excuses. And the ones that make excuses, I've got no time for anymore. None. I can spot them a mile off now.
Yeah.
And they witter on, they waffle along, like make it. They use the most words, I've noticed, and reasons not to do something. And the longer they witter on, the more you realise, no, they're not going to do anything. So now, just ignore those people.
Indeed. Yeah. Well, I'm going to stop this now.